Ian,
Pat.
we're sort of in a golden renaissance of classic games having sequels being made for a newer generation, and a beat 'em up dredged from the annals of history has been announced. A sequel, Ian.
Yes. So is beat 'em ups? So you know how people say that stupid word shmups? Would a beat 'em up be? Because that's a shoot 'em up. Would a beat 'em up be a bum ups?
No, it's just a beat 'em up.
A bum ups? Then why do people say shmup?
Because they're dumb, and they should never say shmup. It's a shooter, damn it.
It is. I mean, just stop. So Streets of Rage 4 has been announced. .emu is behind it, and people have been wanting Streets of Rage 4 for a while.
Have they?
Yeah. I mean, it was rumored on the Dreamcast, but it never happened. And then I remember when Atlas got the rights to some of the Sega titles. I know Streets of Rage was one that came up. I think we might have even talked about it on this here podcast somewhere between 5 years ago and now.
somewhere in the first 5 years.
Somewhere in there.
We have to have an appendix for all the podcasts with things we discuss.
Yes.
How many times Ranch Dressing has come up? How many times Danny Sullivan's come up? You know, see episodes 1, 8, 10, 11, all of them.
The Podpendix.
Yes, the Podpendix.
The Podpendix.
The CU Podpendix.
So anyways, the trailer has come out, and it is definitely going to be a 2D beat 'em up.
We've had a semi-renaissance of beat 'em ups. It was sort of a dead genre for a good probably 10, 15 year span where there wasn't many being made.
Yeah.
Across the consoles. And now when you have like things like the Xbox Live Arcade come back and they start re-releasing the classic arcade ones, I think that sort of helped the interest get back to where it might have been.
Sure. I mean, we've had there was Double Dragon Neon, we had Double Dragon 4,
the new Turtles game that all the YouTubers were promoting a few years ago that was trash on the Xbox.
Oh,
on 360.
There was that. There was the Dave & Buster's. I think it's the exclusive Ninja Turtles beat 'em up.
Oh, there's another one. Okay.
The one that was at Game On Expo.
Okay.
Then there was the really popular Scott Pilgrim vs. the World beat 'em up.
That's right.
It's fantastic, and now it's...
So it's been the past like 7, 8 years they've sort of come back.
Yeah, there's a Power Rangers one. Anyways, all sorts of good stuff. So it seems probably ripe for Streets of Rage to come back. The trailer shows that Axel is looking a little aged.
I don't know about age. He's got a little Pat Contry beard gristle going on.
He's a little scruffy. He looks like... Terry Bogard in Garo Mark of the Wolves.
That happened.
Got like 10 years added to him.
That happened in the Tekken series with Martial Law. Remember, he came back with the beard.
Yes.
You know.
He still has the sneakers though.
Still got the white high tops working for him.
I don't know if he's got
LA Knights or whatever. I don't know what they are.
BK Knights.
Was it LA Knights?
It was
BK Knights.
LA Gear and
I confused two of them.
It was British Knights and LA Gear.
Below the Nike Reebok tier is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
LA Gear. Yeah, LA Gear. Are they still around LA Gear? Anyway.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't know if he's got a bootlegger or if he just bought as much stock.
We don't know if this takes place in the late 90s. We don't know if LA Gear is still kicking back then.
True.
I don't think he's 20 years age because the other protagonist
Blaze,
she's looking just as good.
Yeah, it's true. She doesn't look much older.
She's hitting the squat machine. She's looking just as good.
She's still got them hoop earrings too. So the gameplay looks very much the same.
It's got a cartoony style, which is nice.
I gotta say that's kind of my one thing though. I don't particularly love the art style.
You would prefer sprites? Pure sprites?
I don't know that I would have. I don't know what I would have preferred.
Then you have no realm of this.
I have to see more. I guess I have to see how it plays.
Yeah, this is a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like you get like 15 seconds of gameplay at most, and then really cool animation.
I like the trailer animation. I just don't know if I necessarily like how the
who's Snake Woman at the end there.
The gameplay looks. I don't know. She appears new, but she also looks pretty rad. I like her snake hands. Or her, I don't know.
So I was never really big into the Streets of Rage series because I didn't have a Genesis. My friends had. I played 1 and 2. I always commented that we beat the games like in 20 minutes. They were quick. I remember as a kid.
They're fun. Quick.
I always liked Final Fight better. I always liked a certain Double Dragon series a little bit slightly better.
Oh, you're gross.
Just what I was used to. Not that these were bad games. I just wasn't used to. I always thought that this was just like, Final Fight sort of, not knockoff, but derivative of it. Even though there was some cool 2-player combos and things like that in the games. So if there's an audience for this, that's great. That's fantastic.
I definitely want to try it. I'm not going to discount this until I play it.
Kind of disappointed though. There's only 2 playable characters. Let's say announce more because the other, I think they added 2 or 3 more characters.
There was, depending on which version you play, there's usually 3 characters. So yeah, I'm hoping that they show more characters here.
Sure.
But yeah, part 1 and 2 were a lot of fun. 3, the US version specifically, was brutally hard. They made it was hard. They made it way too
What's with 3s? Double Dragon 3 was too hard. What's with the 3s?
When they brought it to the US, they made part 3 ridiculously hard. The Japanese version's a lot more fair.
Same with Double Dragon.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So, but it had great music. It's still a pretty decent game. So we'll see how this is.
This is Lizard Cube and Guard Crush Games doing the development.
Yeah, and .emu.
Yeah, and there was
publishing.
What was that? What was that brawler? It came out, the indie one. It came out last year. The Russia one. The hell was it called? You don't. What the fuck?
Oh, I have that one too. Russia Bleeds, Mother Russia Bleeds.
Mother Russia Bleeds, is that it?
Something like that.
Yeah, Mother Russia Bleeds. So there has been a renaissance even in the
Oh, yeah, I definitely did not name all the beat-em-ups. Fucking Shaq Fu 2 is a beat-em-up, and holy shit is that game miserable.
Is it just as miserable as the first one?
It's a different type of game, and it's bad. It starts off with Chinese laundry jokes.
Does it really?
Yes.
It's that bad?
It's that bad.
It's Shaq. He's a goofball. He's a corny goofball.
I don't think he had anything to really do with it.
You think so? Are you sure about that?
I got it for free because I had bought their NBA Playgrounds at launch because I like basketball and basketball games. And so I got it for free. I didn't know why, and I downloaded it. And it's one of the only games I've ever deleted off a system after downloading it. Wow. I was like, yeah, I'm never going back to this.
I just think it's interesting because I think it started with, like you said, like Scott Pilgrim. It probably started with Xbox Live Arcade showing off some of the ones from the 90s, like the X-Men one gets re-released, things like that. And now here we are. The Takeover came out. Was that last year or early this year? And that was published by Dangan. Matt McMuscles from Super Best Friends Play was involved somehow.
Yeah, and I believe James has, I think that's the one that he's got music in. James has music in that.
So that's interesting because that's almost like a pure mashup of Streets of Rage and Final Fight when you look at this art style and how the characters look.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if these companies are seeing it's like, wow, this is a new genre or a genre rebirth or revival, and we have these properties laying around. We should be doing this. That's probably the impetus for this. They see these games coming out that are heavily inspired by their properties. Of course, Capcom doesn't give a shit. They have Final Fight laying around. They'll just keep it laying around forever and just put fucking their characters in Street Fighter games when they could easily put out a brawler in less than a year. But yeah, I think it's good. It's always good to have a genre revival. Yes. And the beat 'em ups were always probably one of my favorite genres from the 90s when they were obviously the arcades helped that heavily. Like titles like AVP that we always talk about. It was a shame that never had a console release. The Super Nintendo one doesn't count. That was a different version. I talk about it in a certain
different game entirely.
Different game entirely. And it actually came out before the arcade game, so you can't totally blame those devs. But that's not a good game. But anyway, so yeah. So when is this going to be coming out? We know yet?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
It's just an early tease, so I'm gonna guess next year on that. Streets of Rage 4 with a beard.